Welcome to the Game of Life podcast, where we bring you inspiring softball stories, insightful tips from coaches and players, and explore how the game transcends its boundaries to become a metaphor for life. Whether you're a sports enthusiast, a casual fan, or someone just looking for inspiration, you're in for a treat. We'll unravel the tales that go beyond the scoreboard. Discover how perseverance and hard work on the field translates into resilience in your daily challenges. Learn about teamwork, leadership, and the unwavering spirit that fuels success, not just in sports, but in the game of life. Alli Richmond.
Paul Richmond, how we doing? And
Good, good.
everybody else, how we doing?
Yeah, and all the other people. I'm super excited about our big announcement. We've been talking about it for a couple of weeks. It just seems to make sense, the next step. Passionate about softball, passionate about building your future, aka the game of life, and it just never stops. So take it from there.
Feel like we need a drum roll a little bit. No, so we're really excited. Obviously, over the past year or so, but truly, our entire lives, softball has been really important to us. And it's been just something we like to say, right? Is softball is the vehicle, not the destination. So it's a way for you to build relationships, build your skill set, get to where you want to be in life, learn how to overcome adversity. So our big announcement is we are going to be having the first ever Game of Life softball camp, and it's going to be in July, in and around Binghamton, New York. Still working out some of the logistics, but just want to talk about tonight what that's going to look like, why are we doing it, what you could expect to learn if you're an attendee at that camp. And it's something we're really, really, really excited about. So I'll pass it back to you for your initial thoughts, and then we can kind of get into some of, the reasoning behind why we're really passionate about this.
Yeah, I mean, one thing your mom and I really focused on with you and your sister Jenna is you go to college to play softball, but that's just part of it. Like if you're blessed to be able to compete and do that and maybe get some money to do it, right?
Mhm.
Uh, but you've got to be working towards something. And just like after college, now you work on the next phase and you work on the next phase and you take all that discipline for how hard you work and you just keep applying it to keep stacking those wins, right? And that's what we want to do in the game of life. Like there's going to be plenty of softball skills, but we're going to talk about investing and the recruiting process and NCAA eligibility and how to get through adversity and how to just tackle different things along the way in life.
Yeah. And the way I see this too, right, is there's a lot of different reasons to go to softball camps, right? Maybe you've been to some showcase camps before where you're trying to get recruited by a specific school, or you just go to a technical camp and you maybe take one thing away from the day. What we want for this is it to be kind of a holistic, who are you as an athlete? And when you walk out of this that day, you're going to feel better about the path you're taking to build your future. So, like you said, it's personal finance, right? Like assets versus liabilities, like little things, right? And then it's all going to be very high energy of, okay, we're going to go into an hour and a half block of hitting. We're going to do fielding. We're going to do adversity, high energy drills, right? Like how to respond to errors, how to be a better teammate. Should your mental approach be? How do we overcome mental roadblocks? And it's going to be really high energy, really high focus. And our goal is that one, you have fun while you're here. And then two, you come out a better version of yourself than you were when you got there that day. We'll even go into things like career development, like what should you look for when you are looking into what career you want to do, or how do you build those technical skills? Lots of team challenges, competitive situations, and then even recruiting discussions. So when you're looking to get recruited by a school, what are some of the steps you need to take as far as NCAA eligibility, but also what types of things should you be thinking about when you pick a school? What's going to put you in a better situation to get yourself recruited? So very holistic in its approach. And we just want it to be a fun way to remind girls, one, that this should be fun, and two, it should be preparing you for life. So all the stuff that we've talked about every episode for the past, year and a half.
Yeah, I mean, when sports is done correctly, it should just help you with it should help you with every other aspect of your life. But this camp isn't going to be like worrying about exit velocity, worried about arm speed, and worried about all the things that people tell you you should worry about, but those aren't really things that get you the performance you need in life. And I love what you said earlier that softball's the vehicle, it's not the destination. And that's gonna be a focus of it because how do I say it? Like there's just so much after your softball life that there is to accomplish. But if your whole sole purpose in life is softball, then you don't even realize what you're building. I
Well,
mean, did
and I
I
think
rant a little too much or is that
no,
okay?
no,
Like,
I think to your point, it's yes after softball, but it's also during softball. Like one of the questions that I dislike most in just any setting is if you could go back in time and do this differently, what would you have done different? And I get the reasoning for that question, but what I wish it was is what perspective do you wish you had then that you have now? And I feel like there's so many things in the game of softball that now being done, and so many people say this. I wish I won easier on myself here. I wish I knew how to, get out of mental slumps quicker. I wish was a better teammate sometimes. Like I didn't know how to get out of my own head, or I was selfish in this way. Blah, but whatever yours is, and if you're listening right now, we have them. We all have them. I have things I wish I could go back and tell myself playing at 14U, right? And I think it's luckily I had coaches who kind of brought that to me earlier so that I could then use them through the rest of my softball career. Like you don't want to go through your entire career and then look back and say, I wish I did all of this differently. Like I wish I had perspective on so many things. So I think it's important to kind of put yourselves in situations, whether it's playing up on a team, going to a camp like this, where you're challenged in that sense to say, hey, what are my areas of development as a player? Like truly do a self-reflection and say, if I want to get to the level whatever level you want to play at, or if I want to hit this goal as a softball player, what things do I genuinely need to self-reflect on and get better at? And because truly, I think sometimes we just ignore them and say, well, I'm not good at that, right? Like maybe someone says, you really need to be more positive. Well, I'm not a positive person. Okay, not yet, but like there's stuff you can do to help. So those are just kind of my thoughts too. It's yes after you're playing, but also there's stuff that you can do now to make you a better player.
yeah, it's just about building awareness, about getting better. I mean, you talked about I'm not a positive person. Okay, well, you can still be positive. Sorry you're a pessimistic person, but you can still be positive. We're going to train you how to maybe capture more of those moments.
Hmm. Yeah. And it's definitely, I think, part of this is everyone's different. Everyone's a different player in their own way, but what tools can you use to show up in the best version of yourself every day? We've talked about it before where we use energy as an example, which personally is something I don't like spending a lot of time on as a coach because that's the one thing you can always control is your energy, right? And that's kind of what one of the focuses will be on. Like you get into things what or you get out of things what you put into them is energy. And I think sometimes that just gets overlooked a little bit. So I think just taking those things into consideration of, hey, if you aren't the most energetic person on your team, maybe you're a 3 out of 10 in terms of energy. Be that three every day,
Right.
though. Be consistent because it's
Yeah,
harder to be a
maybe
three than
that
an eight and
three,
then a four.
yeah,
Yeah.
that three is your 100%. I mean, it
Yeah,
just
but
is what it is.
you can't be a 3 when you're doing bad, an 8 when you're doing good, and then a 5 when you're doing okay. That's just not how life works either. So I think just again, stuff like that, giving examples of the type of takeaways could expect to get from something like this.
I like the one aspect of the camp that we're focusing on where there's going to be a lot of competitions, but not necessarily scrimmages,
Hmm.
because we want to see how you respond when it's chaos. And I mean, chaos on a
Yeah.
softball field. Things aren't going your way. There's so many things you can't control. We want to put you in moments to see how you react when it doesn't go your way. And that's literally the game of life 247. That's life. Like
Yeah.
nothing, so many times things don't go your way, but how do you use those moments to capitalize and grow?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes the reason that some of that stuff is so hard is because maybe we don't isolate it in practice or we don't want to focus on it. And then in a game, it feels really unfamiliar. And then we get mad at ourselves for not handling it the right way. But if you take a step back, it's like, well, am I isolating that in practice and then making sure I get better at it? Maybe or maybe not. So it's just stuff like that that, you want to try to isolate so that like any other skill, you can get better at. And I think the other aspect of this too that I'm excited about is the college development piece. So for, girls out there who want to play in college, I think you and I both offer a really unique perspective, you being a college golfer and then me playing Division I softball of, what it takes to play at a high level. And also, I don't think our paths were linear by any means if you've listened to any of our prior episodes. And again, like we realize that we don't have every single step figured out, right? We're not, hey, if you do this, you're guaranteed going to get recruited. That's not how the recruiting process works. But we do know enough people in the softball community to say, hey, if you control the things that you can, X, Y, Z, it's going to put you in a better spot to find the place that you're meant to be. And I think that kind of that's the perspective we offer instead of do these three things and then you're going to get recruited. That's just not how this process works. So,
Oh, I love it. I mean, there's no one journey. We say that all the time. And we want to put young ladies in a position to be marketable enough, have the awareness and have enough resources where they know we don't know what the path is they're going to do, but we know there's several avenues they can take and anyone may be good, but they have choices. And I think that's the biggest thing. We want people to have choices.
yeah. And maybe do you want to touch on the personal finance piece, what our vision is for that as well, or what girls could expect to take away?
Yeah, well, it started because in my high school classes, I convinced people to open brokerage accounts. And the earlier you can start acquiring assets, and then the earlier you can start realizing anything you consume, if you can turn it into an asset over a liability, you're just going to be so far ahead of everybody else. And if you could start that when you're 16, 17 versus 21, 25, it just puts you in a better choice. And again, not so you never have to work again, but just so when you go through all this, you have choices when you're done with your playing career, you're done with your college, when you're focusing on a career, you have options. And I think the big part of the camp is we just want people to have options.
Yeah, we want you to get through this as a well-rounded person, a person that you're proud of, right? What do you want your personal brand to be after you graduate? What do you want to be known for? If somebody asked you, "Hey, tell me about yourself," what would you say without telling them that you're a softball player? That's kind of the broad scope of this is we want to make sure that you're thinking about other things as you go through or use this vehicle to march toward whatever destination is on the other side of it.
Yeah, and the fun part to me is after the camp, we're going to give them tools to succeed continuously afterwards. There's going to be an accountability challenge that you can take for 30 days after the camp. I mean, we're not going to expose any of those details right now, but we want it to be life changing. We want it to be something where people pivot and say, I'm in control of my future. Like, I'm not going to run around necessarily trying to have colleges recruit me. I'm going to be in charge of what I do, and I'm going to go here or here or here because I want to try to accomplish X, Y, or Z after I graduate.
Yeah, I think that, and then the other piece of just a reminder that this is supposed to be fun because I think
Yeah.
that gets lost sometimes. Like this is going to be very high energy, very fast paced. It's going to be full day, but it's going to go by really quickly with multiple different sessions that, like we said, we won't get into too much detail right now, but like I want it to be fun. It's going to be fun. Like that's the one thing I can assure you of. Because I think sometimes young athletes too get so set on, hey, I have one vision and I'm just going to go as fast as I can toward it. It's good to take a step back and remember that you're only going to be in this phase of your life once, whatever phase you're in. That's true for you right now. It's true for me. It's true for everybody listening. So being present, be where your feet are, have fun, enjoy the moment, enjoy playing for your high school team, your travel team. Just have fun. And this day, if nothing else, will be 8 hours of fun for whoever's there.
Let me ask you this. You're a multi-sport athlete. Maybe softball is your number one, maybe it's not. Could you still benefit at the camp?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of the mental or adversity stuff we're gonna do, it's not just softball, it's not just any other sport, it's broad life things. This is stuff probably you've learned after you finished golfing, stuff I've learned since softball as well. Yeah, so absolutely. I think even if it's something, hey, maybe I don't necessarily want to play at the highest level of collegiate softball. Maybe I'm still trying to figure things out, but I know that I want to get better and give myself options of what I could maybe do in the future. I think this is great for that. I also think it's great for the athlete, though, who knows what they want from a softball perspective, saying, I want to play at the highest level. I want to play college softball, and I know that. Like, extremely beneficial for that athlete as well, if they're listening out there.
I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. So we're really excited. There'll be more information coming out soon, but just wanted to give all you guys listening a heads up. And yeah, we're really excited about it, especially on, the podcast journey we've been on so far to just kind of take this to the next level and get out on the field with everybody. So like we said, I know we talked about the mental stuff, but it also will be a very good amount of technical as well. So a lot of hitting concepts, a lot of fielding concepts, different scenarios. And that's something, we're both and just very passionate about. I mean, I love coaching, giving lessons and everything of that sort. So I'm very excited about that piece as well. I don't want that to be overlooked. So definitely we'll walk away from the day with some technical softball takeaways as well. Not some, probably many, hopefully.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like no athlete, no softball player should be a robot.
Hmm.
And we just want people to come to our camp to learn to think, not question like you're debating with your coach what's right or wrong, but
Hmm.
question like, why am I doing it? How is it helping me? And then big picture, how is this going to help me with my career later in life? Like we're trying to combine all that stuff together.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, hopefully those of you listening out there know about the two of us right now. We're very open to other people's opinions. It's not our way or the highway. We know there's a lot of different ways of doing things. So come with questions, come ready to have a conversation about things that you want to know more about. But we're very excited, just to kind of get this out there, meet you all, and go from there. So
Awesome. Thank you, Allie.
yeah, thanks everyone.
Bye.